This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience. Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE, and I have made already some time ago, not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, a video exposing VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE and having a few viewers call in to the Fashion Bunker Live and share with me their experiences as buyers/sellers on VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE. And I'll post the link to that video in the description box down below, but also in the card section up above, so you can get to see and rehear their experiences. And some of them are kind of really disheartening because some of these experiences are very rough, to say the least. They were not very positive and pleasant experiences. Hence, the video that I posted exposing VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE seems like not many people on YouTube do it, because I guess people who deem themselves influencers are scared that they might be blacklisted. I couldn't care less. I want the truth to come out. So I posted that video, and the video was very well received. It got good views and a very substantial, beefy, corpulent amount of feedback and comments. And so I was thinking to make a follow-up video to that one, just to see what other information we have gathered since the month or two have passed. And because I asked in the original video for you to share your experiences with me in the comment section under that video. And you, oh boy, did you share. You shared a lot. So we're gonna read those comments together today so that we can share our knowledge and our experiences with one another, so that more people get to learn about what goes down on VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE. Just to share experiences means the more we're prepared for it, and the better it is for whoever wants to buy there or sell there. So having said that, I would like to advise you to also share your experiences with me underneath this video, your VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE experiences underneath this video, or with other, for that matter, secondhand websites, whether they be luxury or not luxury, but secondhand websites where there's potential for selling fraudulent pieces, replicas, fakes, or just having complications with the actual company itself. Because a lot of the people that I was talking to live, they had bad experiences with the actual company itself. So I'm going to get to your chats, not your chats, I'm going to get to the comments that you left underneath that video now. And before we do so, thumb up this video if you're liking it thus far, please, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube if you haven't already. You can also push the join button next to the subscription button and become a member today. Get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together on Patreon. Even there, you get access to extra perks. My hair is a mess, as usual. So this video is being filmed live in front of a virtual audience, just letting you know that you can also partake in the live filming of my videos. I do live stream every Saturday, so you can join my live streams. Everybody's invited. We have live chats going on all the time. In fact, this video, I have my live chats on the sidebar right now as we speak. So yes, and I will read that comment that I've just popped up now as well. So join that as well. Always check around Fridays my community tab on my channel, my YouTube channel, where I will list the link to the upcoming Saturday live stream. And in that link, you can see your local streaming times. So you could set a reminder. So Demi Caranicolau just wrote in the chats, I just bought a Chanel flap on VESTIAIRE. Currently waiting for them to authenticate it. Fingers crossed it all works out well. Let's hope for the best, Demi. All right, you guys. Well, there you go. That's an actual now comment happening as I'm filming this video. Let's read some of the comments that you guys posted underneath the VESTIAIRE COLLECTIVE exposed video that I posted some time ago. And interestingly enough, the comments keep pouring in. Even though the video is now a month or two old, I still on a daily basis keep getting comments. So here's one from Sia Tanner. I had a small list. But now I really don't want to even attempt buying anything on Vestiaire Collective. I was looking for vintage Louis Vuitton Celine luggage, which I saw a lot of phantoms wrapped, which for a 2010-2012 bag, why is it wrapped? Oh, I see what you mean. They were wrapped in plastic. There was a bunch of Gucci stoles, scarves, which had tags for 2020, as sellers stated, and I've never seen those designs. Yeah. Seems like they were replicas. Masa Joyce says, so interesting. They sold me a fake Prada tote. It's so cheap and bad quality, and I sent it to be rechecked. They still claimed that it's real. I recently listed a pink Prada purse, but they tried to change the color to caramel. So weird, I don't trust them. Sasha Wood, can someone explain to me why non-vintage second-hand items on Vestiaire Collective are priced double than in store? A second-hand, very good condition Jacquemus Le Chiquito Noed bag on Vestiaire is €880. Brand new on the Jacquemus website is €550. This is such abuse of power. I tried contacting them through their chat, and the woman kept telling me she doesn't understand my question, even after I sent screenshots. This is also very typical. A lot of you have been complaining that they just don't answer to requests, and if they do answer, they play these kind of games of like, you're very transparent with your question, and they're like, we don't understand you. What do you actually mean? My hair. What do I mean about my hair? It's just a mess. Reinhold Everest says, just checked out the website, Vestiaire Collective, and it looks sketchy to me. I would never give them my coin. Oh, my CC, maybe Chanel. It helps to search forums or do a search on the website. Reviews. Do search on the website reviews. Oh, these are helpful. So I guess searching externally from the website reviews are helpful. Like, I guess like my video was in respect to you guys sharing your experiences with me. Natasha said, how do I feel about personal shoppers? Difficult. I'm not a fan in general, I gotta say, but that's a topic for another day. Veronica Rovegno says, I have known it since it was Le Vestiaire des Copines. It was lovely. It's now more business-like, which would be fine if it matched up with quality service. I did buy and sold a few things, but I spotted lots of fakes, brand new bags, all from sellers in China. On the other hand, I tried to sell a watch, despite crazy fees, clearly indicating it needed a new battery, and they sent it back saying it was not working, which means that they didn't bother to properly check my description, or if they did, they didn't even put a battery in to the watch to verify if it still worked. Arnold Yu says, it's fantastic that you did this to expose them because they deserved it. I used to be selling and buying on the site years ago, but it's changed a lot in the last 12 months and full of fake goods, even after they claimed to have screened these ones. The other things, if you can't report them, and if you leave a message on the listing questioning the authenticity, you actually get your account locked. Wow, wow, I didn't know that they went that far. Anya Prachtwerk, sorry if I butchered the name. So far, knock on wood, I've only had good experiences with Vestiaire Collective. I bought several handbags from them, mostly using the direct shipping option. I only buy bags from them or from any private seller that I have researched thoroughly. So I am sure about their authenticity and wouldn't dare buy any I do not have knowledge on. I've had some amazing bargains. BM says Vestiaire offers direct purchase only up to £1,000. So anything higher price, for example, vintage Chanel, has to go direct to Vestiaire in Paris for authentication by them always. I'm just reading this stuff, so I'm not confirming whether or not this is true or not. I'm just sharing with you what my viewers have posted underneath that video. Thumb up this video if you're liking it thus far, and post your comments about your experiences with Vestiaire Collective or other websites in the comment section down below, and they might end up being read in another video of mine soon in one of my upcoming live streams. Lisa C says, had problems with Vestiaire Collective in the UK since Brexit. They are adding import charges to items bought from sellers in the UK, even though I also live in the UK. And they confirmed that the item would not leave the country for authentication. I reached out to customer services several times, but never received any answers or explanation. So I won't use them again I won't use them again. I'm curious where the hundreds of pounds in import charges would go, as I can't see UK government claiming them for sales of second-hand goods within the UK. This is scary. This is scary. This makes no sense. And that Vestiaire Collective is not answering and addressing this issue. So unprofessional, to say the least. Deborah Alain says, just had the worst experience. They said that they authenticated a bag that was in a shambles, and now there is no inside of it. It's crazy. No one is getting back to me. I'm pissed, as you should be. Ariadna Saftoyu says, I got a few bags, shoes, and clothing items there. Never had an issue. A Dior necklace got rejected at authentication, and I got a refund after a few days. I also sold some items with no problem. But I always pay with PayPal for the extra security and wouldn't be comfortable paying directly with my card. I did spot some fakes though. I think because they only authenticate after the item is sold, and honestly, I don't know how those items would go during the do during the process. I also only buy from sellers that have the expert or trusted badge, and I usually look up other items they've sold and read the comments to see if other buyers had any issues with them. This is really good advice, Ariadna. Thank you so much for that. I would also recommend you to do this type of research if you do decide to go. I want to say choose and decide. So I blended the two words together. So if you do decide to go with Vestiaire Collective, this is a good tip. How to do your research before purchasing. Marianne Palfi. Is there a service you would recommend to buy from? All of them can be great, but all of them can be terrible. You got to be very, very cautious. There would not be one that I would recommend wholeheartedly to you and tell you, oh, go with them blindfolded. They're always going to deliver the best. Everybody can make mistakes. But having customer service that doesn't always answer to all your requests and questions, that's a really bad sign. So, but I wouldn't have one specific website or online secondhand luxury or non-luxury reseller website like to give you as a tip, like go there. I've had issues with all of them. And I've also had great experiences with most of them. Marianne also says, my experience has been the same as your caller. As a buyer, I have been contacted about condition and may not be as the description claims. That has led me to be very trusting of them. But now I'm leery. I've bought a few bags from them and now I'm nervous. Though I have bought new direct from the stores and see no difference in my bags, I bought from Vestiaire Collective now. I have a nervous feeling. Would I have recourse if I find out these bags are not authentic months later? No clue how they're... That depends how long their insurance covers your purchase. I don't know what happens if in 2 years you discover that the bag you purchased 2 years ago through Vestiaire Collective turns out to be fake. I don't know. I would think, depending on the country you're in and what sort of consumer protection laws are set in place, in some countries, like, no matter how long after the purchase has been done, you find out that the thing you bought was fake, I think you still have the right to claim your money back. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, though. Tuan Duong says, I have good and odd experiences with Vestiaire Collective. I had bought a pair of Loewe boots from them using direct shipping. I checked them myself and was skeptical about the authenticity. I contacted them and they immediately told me to return the shoes to them. After receiving the shoes, they sent me back the full amount of money within 3 to 5 days. I'm also a seller, and yes, they do give more rights to buyers than sellers. I can imagine you could lose your items by selling them. Crackberry Me says, I am so glad that you and others were willing to stand up and speak about this resale site. I feel the same. Vestiaire Collective must be batshit crazy to think that they can say X, Y, Z, and P to anyone regarding an item being fake, and that, oops, sorry, not sorry, and then we're stuck fighting with them and their nonsense. The last disaster purchase I made with Vestiaire Collective was in early 2020 for a pre-loved Chanel, and I will never deal with them again. I would rather buy new for peace of mind than go through that BS. Bashar says, so, where should we buy secondhands? Anyone knows? And this comment was posted a month ago and nobody replied. So nobody knows. Whoever was reading these comments also, nobody really knows what tip to give. Buying secondhand safely, hard. You got to do your due diligent homework to not get tricked. So any website is potentially dangerous. So you got to be very, very cautious. And Nathalie Reggie writes, purchased an Hermes Kelly wallet from Vestiaire Collective. It did not have the stamp as it should have on the strap that closes the wallet. They asked me to send it back so they could authenticate a second time. They sent it back after 1 week saying it was authentic, but it's clearly missing the Hermes stamp. No explanation why they believe it's real. Won't answer my emails or give me a refund. Last message I received said I could resell on their site. $3,000 mistake. Never buying again from them. This is a horror example. This is a horror example that you can't get your money back. You know it's fake and they keep claiming it's authentic, so it's their word against yours and you cannot win. This is a horror scenario. Dave says, great video. Thank you, Dave. I have to say that my experiences with Vestiaire Collective were always good until one time where they had listed a bag with 15-inch times 15-inch, and when I got it, it was a 10-inch times 10-inch bag and unusable for me, and I had a hard time returning it even if that wasn't my fault. I got my money back at the end, but it wasn't easy. I also have to say, only shop there if you have knowledge about the brand you're buying in order to be sure that you don't get a fake. Because I also saw fakes that are listed there, and sometimes they even slip through the authentication process. Good point, Dave. MHC says, I have bought a lot from Vestiaire. I must say that I have mixed feelings. I always get the items I buy from them verified. So I go to reputable authenticators with the actual item. I now only buy on Vestiaire if it's a very rare item I might not be able to find anywhere else. And then I know that I will have to get it authenticated a second time. I know for a fact that Vestiaire have made authentication mistakes. A friend was able to prove this on a vintage Chanel bag she purchased. I wouldn't sell on Vestiaire because their fees are a total joke, and because I wouldn't trust how they handle after sales. Sometimes the description and photos on Vestiaire do not match the items I received. I have contacted Vestiaire after receiving the items, and on some occasions they have rectified it, and sometimes they have said that they say it matches the description. I'm talking about flaws on the items that were not shown in the pictures. I find this unacceptable. Thanks for sharing your findings. Very informative video. Thank you, MHC. So sorry for the terrible experience you've had. Holy Grace writes, and Holy Grace, by the way, is also a member of the Fashion Bunker channel. You can also become a member today and gain access to extra perks. So thank you, Holy Grace, for being a member. Holy Grace writes, I see fakes all the time. I'm quite good at spotting them. Vestiaire Collective is so unreliable. Real is now better. So there's a tip for you from Holy Grace. Moni Lulu writes, thanks for this. People are really scamming out there. This is becoming a whole business. I just signed up with Vestiaire Collective out of curiosity because the community kept advising pre-loved is the way to go for certain bags. But I won't be buying. Too risky for me. Crystal Stahl writes, I bought a Gummy Mansour Gabrielle bag, threatened with my country's consumer law, got my money back, never ever bought again from Vestiaire Collective. Girl Next Door 0703 writes, when they come up in Google Shopping, their shipping is listed as almost $1,000. WTF is up with that. They're shady. I don't know what country you're in, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's like with import, maybe it's shipping to your country super expensive. TBN, the Beauty News Flash, says, I have very extensive experience both selling and buying from Vestiaire Collective. The truth is, it has grown exponentially in the 2 years, way, way beyond their control. I am fed up with seeing fakes on there and call sellers out in the comments. They really should have actual eyes on the listing before it airs on the website. I have lost trust on what I see on the website, which is sad because it didn't used to be like that. It felt a lot safer. However, in practice, I have never received a fake. I always authenticate at third parties nowadays, which defeats the purpose. But hey, I gotta do my own due diligence in life. All problems, quite a few, I have had with orders were resolved within 2 days maximum smoothly. But I'm really careful about what I choose. For me, despite their high commission, it is still a brilliant platform. They really need to get a grip on their scrutiny and authentication process from beginning to the end. That's it. But it's no small task, as they have chosen to become a vast platform. P.S. Now that Kering bought a stake of Vestiaire Collective, I'm sure authentication will be resolved. Well, I'm not so sure about it because, you know, Kering is all about the money. Kering is caring only about the money. Mika Sibyl writes, I never experienced fake items, but has happened to me that things that I bought directly from Vestiaire weren't as described in their terms and conditions. No photo of the defects, but photos that makes the item look in great condition, with a very vague reference to the damage, saying it wasn't visible when it was. Only one time they offered me a coupon as a refund, just because it was really obvious. Even if asked to get my money back, because I paid the authentication and conditions checked, and they clearly lied about it because they wanted to get rid of this item. But when I sold a pair of Gucci trousers and sent it to them, they said it wasn't proven that they were authentic. I was sure they were authentic because I bought it from the Gucci store 10 years ago, and I had to pay to have it back. Since then, I lost my status as a trusted seller, and it has been impossible to upload new items because, in first place, they require me lots of pictures, and then they refuse the item without a reason. Most of the things that I sell are in very good condition or new and from very good brands, so I don't understand why they can do whatever they want, but they treat sellers and buyers with zero honesty. Leo Dank writes, I have mainly had good experiences buying things from Vestiaire, but the authentication quality control seem to be really sloppy. I almost only buy Yohji Yamamoto clothing, which isn't fake that often or at all, so all things I have bought have been authentic. But quality control issues, even very obvious ones, are often overlooked when authenticated in my experience. SL writes, really good video. Thank you so much, SL. I recently bought a pair of Manolo Blahnik Hangizi shoes from Vestiaire Collective, and the process was very easy. I received them a week later from Hong Kong to London. I made sure to do my research to ensure they weren't fake, and for my peace of mind. Not sure if I'll buy from them again, as it could have been beginner's luck. Budai Leila writes, knew from day one they were selling fakes. Caliber Hair Imports. I purchased a vintage Chanel from almost 3 for almost $3,000. And when I received it, oh my God, it was hand repaired, which was botched and not shown that it was botched in pictures. The bag smelled horrid. The chains were horribly rusted, also not shown in pictures or in description. It went through authentication and supposed to match the description, and it still passed. I had to send it back for product not matching description. Luckily, I got my money back, but it was a drag. I'm Bag Happy writes, thanks for this video. Thank you for watching. I bought from them about 2 years ago from a professional seller after seeing an influencer recommend the site. Maybe the influencer was sponsored by them and paid to say that it was amazing. Just saying, maybe. I only found out about the negative feedback afterwards. I was so scared for a month until I received the item. I then had it authenticated and I actually took photos of the bag at the boutique and compared them side by side. Luckily, it was deemed authentic and my photos versus the bag looked consistent. Anyways, I've been hesitant to buy from them again since. Now this, I'm more scared than ever. Marinella Alvarez says, I have purchased a Prada jacket from what Vestiaire classifies as a professional seller. Prior to this, I only did a brief search as to what counts as authentic Prada clothing. Once it arrived, little did I know that I had missed certain information that was key to be certain that what I had purchased was authentic Prada. It wasn't authentic Prada. I sent it back to Vestiaire Collective, and what felt like a long day of back and forth with the admin on the end of the help chat, I finally got to print the return form for further authentication. Though I did receive the refund, they did not blacklist the item. The jacket still continues to be sold by the professional seller. They didn't confirm whether the item was indeed real or fake. I just hope no one falls ill due to this. Hatice Kalak, I mean, that's terrible. There was a newspaper article years ago. They exposed Vestiaire Collective for selling fakes. And this news article was from Germany. Miss B writes, what a great video. Thank you so much, Miss B. I almost bought a hard-to-find Chanel with them last year, but the prices were so high and it felt odd. Luckily, I was introduced to an amazing seller in the US, and she and I are friends to this day. So glad to know my instincts were correct. Julia McGrath writes, I am mostly a seller on Vestiaire Collective. Only bought a couple of things and got them authenticated separately later. After dealing with their authentication team, I must say they really do not have any experience. On a number of occasions, they requested original receipts for authentication purposes, despite the fact that items I sent them had all the brand markings, stamps, etc. Basically, this is what you need to have to really authenticate the item. Receipt can be forged. It can come from a different item, etc. It does not prove anything at all. And in my listings, I am always precise what my item comes with. Why do you ask for a receipt then? The short answer is because they are unable to authenticate. They just don't know how to do it. Basically, on these occasions, I ended up doing some deep research for them, writing detailed reports on why my item is authentic, assembling collages and explaining brand details and history. As Dacob said, he can spot fake Chanel immediately, and so do I with other brands like VCA, Cartier, Tiffany. And the website is full of counterfeits. A lot of them are obvious ones, not even super fakes. And there is no way of reporting fake listings. This is bad that there's no way of reporting fake listings. Coming back to square one, if you do have experience with these brands, you will spot a problem in a blink of an eye. If their experts are unsure, they can always request extra pictures from the seller. However, this is not happening. And this is always a question in my head. How does it slip through? The only answer is that the person on the other end does not know what he or she is doing. Measurements are another headache. Maybe they use different rulers, or they are moving close to the speed of light. So their sense of distance is affected, Oh, I love the shade. By the way, typically when you list something for sale, you write description and it is published the way you wrote it. Recent reports from the sellers show that they started to modify these descriptions themselves without consent of the seller. Quite often, these modifications result in misrepresentation of the item and can get sellers into trouble if the item is sold. For example, they may modify description to "comes with the original case," while the seller did not specify this. On a few occasions, they dropped prices of the items without the seller's consent. I have never seen this kind of fraudulent company behavior before. Thank you, Julia, for your very in-detail comment. Alessandro Albano writes, "Hello dear, I'm watching your video and I must say that I'm really doubtful about Vestiaire Collective because it's the first time I'm purchasing something from their platform. I looked through all the Gucci section and I admit most of the items listed are authentic because I'm a premium Gucci consumer or customer and can easily spot a fake. And what I don't like is the extra money they want from you once you decide to interact as a seller. I posted some luxury items that cost me an arm and a leg, and I was compelled to raise the price to the buyers because Vestiaire warned me they would keep a part of my initial price for buyers. Examples: for a €350 little pouch, I would receive €260. I guess it's a ripoff, but as a buyer, I would feel safe to know that someone out there is looking at my item's authenticity after I've purchased. My conclusion is just one. Buy what you love, but only from the genuine source. Don't get into trouble." VJ Loves wrote, "This was just amazing and horrific all at the same time. If I called in with what happened to me last year, it would have taken an entire hour. I'm sorry, but don't trust this company. It's not worth the headache." Anya Perzekodska, I hope I pronounced the name correctly, says, "Hi Dacob. I bought a few things from them and had no issues. I bought a vintage Chanel and it was already authenticated, so didn't have to wait. I also purchased it from a consignment store on their site and I find that works better. I also read this store's reviews and there was another YouTuber that used them to buy her Chanel. I would just be careful buying on their site and I would do my research." Amelie P says, "I'm a buyer and seller there. I used to buy a reissue 226 in black from them and got a 227 instead. Ooh. Since I always doubt their authentication process, if you have a knowledge to authenticate the bag and charge us the fees, how you did not know that was a different bag compared to the listing? I'm not professional, but Chanel lover. With my 2 cents, I can say that was not a bag I bought." Another suspicious thing is about their shawls and scarves. Some sellers have many in stock and cheaper than the same models in the store. I don't know how they do that. They were not from the old season, but still available in the boutique. They usually don't come with a receipt or packaging. About their poor and doubtful authentication process, I'm wondering how they are able to tell if the items are fake or authentic. Hannah A says, "I direct messaged Vestiaire Collective on Instagram to report a seller selling a lot of really obvious fake items, and they got really defensive on behalf of the seller. I would never buy from them." Patricia Lee. "Okay, here's my 2 pence worth. Vestiaire is an amazing platform overall, but yes, it is not 100% foolproof. Then again, I don't think any pre-loved company can provide a 100% guarantee all the time. The most important thing is that they listen to their customers and treat them well, which Vestiaire Collective generally does. There is definitely fakes on there, and I think you need to have a level of expertise to feel fully confident when purchasing items that are often counterfeit. I don't fully trust the authentication process, and I think they should use entropy for certain items. I do, however, love the Vestiaire Collective platform as both a buyer and seller. I understand what you are saying about the direct shipping option, but it is only available for lower priced items. The buyer needs to decide if they are competent enough to authenticate themselves. I bought a coat and opted for direct shipping as it cost under €1,000. When I received it, it was a very, very good fake. I informed Vestiaire Collective and they refunded me. That is what matters in the end. Their customer service is mostly good, but not always. Well, you know, but not always, it's not good enough. I don't want to feel like, oh, playing Russian roulette when buying from their website. I might, you know, end up with a fake or not. No, you know, the second there's one fake, we're done. You let that slip through the cracks, we're done. Enrique Cornwell has an interesting comment, says, I've only sold on Vestiaire, but I only buy my stuff at the store. Patricia says, Patricia Quintela, I'm so happy that I found your channel. Thank you so much, Patricia. I have been stalking Vestiaire for months, looking for my first Chanel. Very good not to jump on it blindsided. Very educational and entertaining as well. Thank you so much. Laura Chesson or Chesson says, Hi, Dacob. The first load I have watched from you, but totally concur. I have always been skeptical of the authentication process at Vestiaire and have consequently never bought from them. I was scouring the Dior bags yesterday for one I already own and had a similar experience to you. That looks fake. That looks fake, and so on. And we are not even experts. Regarding Chanel sunglasses, there is a planned 90s Chanel sunglasses drop on Luxury Promise in a couple of weeks. My experience of buying and selling through them is superb. They physically inspect everything before listing and have 14-day return period. Go check them out. I might just go check them out to see if it's safe or not. Dag now writes, all of this sounds like a nightmare. That's why I'm super happy with Fashion File, where you can return your purchased item if you're not happy with it. Marine Baltayan says, how do you feel about Farfetch? Not resell, but many boutique stores that are worldwide selling products. That's a different story. If it's like new and just different boutiques all combined through Farfetch to ship, I still think Farfetch takes a huge cut, and those shops are locked into contracts with Farfetch, which is not always good for the shops. But it's a different story. We're not talking secondhand here, so I think that requires a different video and topic. I've never purchased from Farfetch though. Personally, not a fan. Good catch, says Pink Lemonade. Their pictures look like pawn shop, so never looked back. Ooh. Nadia Masood says, I only buy bags on brand new from the boutique. If I can't afford, I don't buy pre-loved. Always save money and buy brand new. And also, I have 8 to 10 bags, not more than that. Otherwise, then you have 40 to 50 bags. Then you need to sell, and it's a big frustrating thing to sell the bag. So buy the bag brand new and buy less. That way you can manage your handbag collection. Just like Vivienne Westwood also says, choose well, buy less, make it last. Kathy Berry says, I only sell from them. I never bought from them. Once I sold a Saint Laurent pump. I bought for 650 euro. Okay. Once I sold an Yves Saint Laurent that I purchased for 650 euro and I sold it for 190. They wrote me to say the shoe had a different color. Then deceive even if the color of the shoe was written on the box. I ended up getting only 140 euro for my shoe because I didn't want to go through the refund. Ruth Goss says, I will never use them again. They sold me a fake Chanel bag a few years back. I returned it. It took 3 months to get a refund. No apology or anything. They are terrible. Yves Bureau says, there was a seller label expert who happened to be in my city. He tried to sell me a bag that, if you look closely, wasn't even the bag in the pictures on Vestiaire. He bullied me into buying the bag. I sent all my screenshots to Vestiaire to report him, and they did nothing. He is still selling on the platform and is still labeled as an expert. Conatus says, hi Dacob, did you know that last year 7 ex-Hermes employees were condemned for making fake Birkins? Even the real hands can make fake bags. I was shocked. Wow. Screenshot. This is a topic for another video. That's shocking. Daniel in the Antipodes, by the way, Daniel is a patron to the Fashion Bunker. Thank you, Daniel, so much for being a supporter of the Fashion Bunker. And Daniel has been a supporter for many years. You too can join the Fashion Bunker on Patreon today. I have never bought from Vestiaire Collective. The other week I found a Dior wallet on chain on Vestiaire Collective for only about Australian dollars 279. I think I have not accidentally left out any zeros. Well, I hope you haven't. I was on the verge of buying it, even though it was highly battered. I decided not to buy it because of the cost of repairing it, but then I began to think, surely even a battered Dior wallet on chain is worth more than that. I honestly don't know for sure because I have no experience with Dior, either new or secondhand. It looked okay, but I am glad now that I decided not to buy it, especially after seeing this video. I can fully understand that even in a well-run organization, mistakes can happen. Even the most dedicated authenticator can make an honest mistake. That is part of being fallibly human. However, in an honest organization, such mistakes should be rare, and the company should go out of its way to make restitution for the mistakes. Mistakes on this scale are inexcusable, literally. I would rather buy from eBay, on PayPal, and get my own authentication. I feel so sorry for the victims you have spoken to. A heartfelt thank you for this video. Thank you so much, Daniel. Hanan Sama writes, my goodness, I found a fake bag that I was considering buying a couple weeks ago, but I messaged the seller about it and they went off on me. Ain't no real designer bag gonna have the closure literally lifting off the bag. DER 29012 says, oh my god, I was waiting for that video. I once sold a pair of Gucci Brixton slippers in size 38, shipped them to Vestiaire Collective, and then got a message that I shipped the wrong size shoes to them. I swear that was so creepy. They literally told me the shoes I sent them were size 36. After calling them, there was a hotline then. The woman on the phone was either A, fully incompetent, B, couldn't speak my language properly, and C, told me there's nothing wrong on their side. I even thought about maybe their logistics is crappy and they mixed up my product with someone else's and asked them to check, but no, they purely refused and sent me the shoes back. Oh my god, they sent me the shoes back that I never owned in my life. So they sent you back the shoes that you didn't send them? I can't. Alaya Mac says, great video, Dacob. Thank you so much, Alaya. We, the consumer, need to hold these brands accountable. They are criminals. I decided to give them a try a few months ago. I sold a pair of Chanel earrings. They were received and approved. For 2 weeks, there was no date for my payment. I tried to contact the chat, aka customer service, and got nowhere. They tell me that there is an issue with shipping the item to the customer. Like, what does that have to do with me? I went online and found the email of their CEO, sent a scathing mail, and received a response the same day and received my money in a few days. I tried to add my new Chanel bag that I received from Chanel in Short Hills, New Jersey, and they told me my item is not authentic. I deactivated my account. It is not worth it. They need to be reported, and the publication of this video will bring light and awareness to their corrupt business practice. Sweet Nalia writes, I love this topic. Thank you, dear. Thank you for watching. iCandy112486 writes, Vestiere's quality control is terrible. Thanks for making this video. I bought a Chanel briefcase from them, and the condition was nowhere near as stated. When the briefcase arrived to me, there were structure issues that were not disclosed in the text from listing, nor on the listing photos. I was shocked it passed their inspection process. It was a nightmare getting Vestiaire Collective to even accept the return. I will never use them again. All Things Ross writes, I just bought a bag from Thierry Mugler. The seller said it was new. So when I bought it, they shipped into the Vestiaire warehouse, and it turns out it was in good condition. So they reached out and told me it's not new, like the listing said, more like good condition. So I canceled the order and they refunded my money. But I hate that they charge so much, $20 for shipping and handling, and on top of that, an authentication fee. Sandra Boyle says, thanks for the info, my friend. Thank you, Sandra. Many well-known influencers praise them. So, yeah, well, many of them are paid also. Alexa Extraordinaire says, informative, smart, and witty as always. You are the greatest, Dacob. Thank you so much, Alexa. So sweet of you. Pamsky says, I buy no branded vintage and some clothes from random brands. No, I buy no branded vintage and some clothes from random brands on Vestiaire Collective, but to be honest, I would never buy an expensive designer bag there. I avoid buying pre-loved, but as a vintage lover, I sometimes have to buy pre-loved. There are better resellers though. Ruth Ann McKinnon says, I have found with any business complaint I have that is egregious, taking publicly to Twitter to roast them is not only effective, but it's satisfying. Kay says, thank you for this. It was very informative. Thank you, Kay, so much. Chunky Shoes UK writes, I got a fake Yves Saint Laurent bag from Vestiaire. It was a few years ago. It was obvious fake when it arrived. Don't think they even looked at it. Had a candy wrapper in it too. I complained like mad. Got my money back, but it was a stressful experience. It taught me to do my own research on anything I buy from there now before purchase. If not enough pics or any doubts at all, I won't buy. I have bought a number of things since, but I wouldn't trust them to authenticate a product for me. I'm getting quite good at authentication now. Not had a fake since. If I see an obvious 100% fake, I put a polite comment on it as a way of warning others. Feel like it's my duty to help fellow fashion lovers. I think Vestiaire have changed some stuff since my bad experience, but I still wouldn't trust them to authenticate. Patsy says, I do not trust them. I am a Louboutin sneaker collector and was immediately put off by their use of stock photos rather than photos of the actual item. I have marked all communications from them as spam and will never purchase from them. Plus, there are many critiques of the website that point out fakes all the time. Lord Bacon says, there is risk to buying pre-loved. I got fake Chanel from The Real. I got fake Chanel from Vestiaire, Tradesy, Poshmark, eBay, and Fashion File. Almost all resell sites. Some are harder to get the money back than others. Hardest time I had getting my money back is Tradesy, Poshmark, and Fashion File. I saw lots of seller complaints from Vestiaire, so I have never sold on that site and probably never will. Zimaya247 says, I remember I bought a Louis Vuitton leopard stole and it wasn't cheap either, and I straight away knew it was fake, but they never gave me grief, they never refunded me. They never gave me grief and refunded me immediately. I then bought one from Louis Vuitton Heathrow Airport. Never will I buy from them again. SW says, I've used Vestiaire Collective on and off since 2014, mostly as a seller, and sold over 20 items during this period, only purchasing one. Main reason for not purchasing was I didn't feel confident in the authentication process, given the number of items I could easily identify as fake. I worked for Dior in the past and have identified several fake Dior bags from pictures alone. I also had 2 items I sold rejected as non-authentic, which I immediately supplied the receipt as I had purchased direct from boutique. No apology, just a change in that my item was now authenticated and on the way to the buyer. We all know receipts can be forged, and ultimately you need to trust the authenticator. The customer service was non-existent, not helpful in any way, and borderline rude. Pity, because back when they launched, I really felt Vestiaire Collective had really established itself as the platform to go pre-loved. But little trust in authentication, plus extortionate consignment fees, has made it more of a directory to do my own authentication and buy-sell from other places. Socially, Stacy says, it's literally on my journey to buying my first Chanel bag. Oh, I'm literally on my journey to buying my Chanel bag and was contemplating pre-loved. Besides the benefits of the actual experience of buying a new one in the store, I'm deathly afraid of buying one that's not real. Thanks for this information. We have 3 Chanel stores here in Houston, so I'll just buy new. The prices aren't really that different anyway. It's more about finding the bag I want in the store. Neil Wong says, it's a joke when you have to pay them for authentication. Styled for Life says, how is a regular person supposed to detect if a bag is real or fake? That's crazy. Don't buy it. I'm so happy to hear this, although I've never bought through this venue. Great video. Thank you so much, Styled for Life. Devin Christopher says, wow, never shopping there. Crazy. And Diana Di Giovanni, last comment. I just bought a Chloe bag. Now I'm afraid it's fake. You guys, thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. These are all experiences and stories of people that have commented under just that one video. So if you have more experiences to share, comment underneath your video. Let's expand this community. Thumb up this video and subscribe to my channel for more information on topics of this caliber. But I think it's important that we expand our knowledge, that we expand our experiences, that we share them as much as possible, because we learn from each other. We learn from each other's experiences, and we raise awareness. Don't be gullible. Don't take anything at price value, at face value. Don't take anything for granted. Be skeptical about these things, because the bigger these companies become and the more corporate they become and the less they can dedicate time to one specific person, whether it be client or seller, and you just become a number. And when you just become a number, things start getting terribly wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thumb up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. And you can also push the join button next to the subscription button to gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together on Patreon. Also there you get extra perks if you join, including special videos that don't come to YouTube, it's exclusive there. And your name listed here on the sidebar scrolling as a co-producer of the Fashion Bunker at the end of every video. So thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. And thank you to everybody watching live here. I was reading the comments of the readers, so I didn't get to actually read your chats. Let me quickly go through a couple of the chats as the end credits are scrolling. I have never had any problem with Vestiaire, says MK, and I've been purchasing with them since 2009. It was named Vestiaire de Copine at the time. Yes, which I read in one of the comments. One of the people also commented that it was called like that at the beginning. And every time there was an issue, it was fixed in less than 24 hours, but that's in the past when they were a much smaller company. I know, Debbie says, uh-oh, Chanel Journey, lol. Yeah, it's beginning, right? So I hope you've all enjoyed this video. And, you know, ultimately, whatever you decide to do, if you want to, it's your money. You could spend it at a secondhand website and purchase something, but do your research, you know, be safe, know who you're buying from, what the product you're buying, what it is it authentic, is it not authentic, how close can you be sure for yourself that it is authentic or not authentic, because there's always a little percentage of not really knowing, because unless you don't purchase from the actual boutique, that from that brand that produces that product, if you don't purchase from that boutique directly, you'll never be 1000% sure that the product you're buying is actually authentic or not if you're buying it secondhand. So you have to really do a lot of research. And a lot of these companies, even though they charge a lot for their services, even authentication services, still, the bigger the company, the less time they have to really dedicate to the pieces. So we, the consumer, got to stick together, and we have to share our experiences and raise awareness as much as possible, because there's strength in numbers, I always say. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Leave me comments in the comment section down below about your experiences from now on, what the experiences you've had with VESTIAIRE Collective and other secondhand websites. Let's share and make more videos like this one and raise more awareness. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Mwah.